All right, so this is going to be a quick recap. Not much to really say about this game. Just want to congratulate the LA Rams for getting the 26-17 win here over the Seattle Seahawks. Matthew Stafford had a pretty solid game, threw for 365 passing yards, had a touchdown and a pick, which was a rough pick. Again, he was throwing the ball out of bounds. He should have just thrown it to the sidelines or just beam it to the stands, but he was reckless. He was being lazy when he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds, and it resulted in the pick. Other than that, Stafford was great, man. Cooper Kupp was amazing. Robert Woods was amazing. Just the receivers today were amazing for the Rams. They were getting, especially Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods was just carving up the Seattle secondary all day. It was amazing. Those two guys were doing their thing. Henderson was also running the ball nice. So, yeah, the Rams as a whole offensively, they were doing their thing, man. They were doing their thing. The Seattle defense couldn't stop these guys for much of the game, so great on them. The Rams actually didn't play well in the first half. They only put up 3 points. That completely changed. They went on a 23 to what is this? A 23-7 run in the second half because it was a 7-3 game going into halftime, and then out of halftime, the third quarter they put up like they had two straight drives and touchdowns, and they really just took over this game. So great job for the Rams. They got the job done. Matthew Stafford kind of injured his index finger, but it didn't really seem to slow him down and stop him here. He was still throwing the rock down the field, so great for them. The Rams are now 4-1. After a tough, brutal loss last week to the Arizona Cardinals, they come on the road against another against another NFC West rival in the Seattle Seahawks, and they take them down. Like I said in my preview, I don't trust Seattle at home, so I expected the Rams to come in here and get the job done, especially after that tough loss to the Cardinals, and that's exactly what they did. So great win for the Rams. They're now 4-1. Congratulations to them. As for the Seahawks, man, straight up confusion. Oh yeah, one thing to say about the Rams defense, by the way. The Rams defense, I got some issues, man. That secondary is not looking good. That secondary is not looking good. They got cooked today. They got cooked at times today. That secondary was not looking good. I've got some concerns, man. The secondary for the Rams did not look good today. Of course, the front seven was doing good. They were bringing pressure all day, but the secondary was giving up big plays when they weren't supposed to. Jalen Ramsey got cooked by DK Metcalf today. In fact, anybody that was on DK Metcalf today was getting cooked. It was that bad. So that secondary better tighten up because they weren't looking good. They weren't looking good. But yeah, congratulations to the Rams. They're now 4-1. As for Seattle, they fall to 2-3, and even more worries than just this loss because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson in the first half, he played relatively well. He also ended up throwing a pick, though it wasn't his fault. It was a great play by Ramsey. Ramsey contested the ball that was going to Tyler Lockett. He played good coverage there. Ball got popped in the air, and it was picked off. So it wasn't really Russell Wilson's fault. But Russell Wilson also had a great drive where he hit DK Metcalf, and Metcalf went into the end zone. That was the play where Metcalf just beat Jalen Ramsey, and he went into the end zone and just got in. So DK Metcalf had a great game. 2 touchdowns for him. He was killing it tonight. Good on him. Tyler Lockett also made some nice catches, but really this was DK Metcalf just dominating for much of the night. But yeah, Russell Wilson in the first half made some solid throws, but they weren't able to convert on a lot of downs, and they didn't put up much points. 7 points. They also missed a field goal that would have put them up 10-3, which again, it was rough. In fact, both kickers today it was rough. It was a rough day for kickers today. It was just a rough day. Both kickers played poor overall. So it was just disgusting there. But yeah, they only put up 7 points in the first half. And in the second half, that's when things got bad. Russell Wilson was still trying to lead them down the field. But in the third quarter, at some point on one of the plays, Russell Wilson, on his throw, he would end up hitting like the helmet. Either his hand would get hit or one of his fingers would hit the helmet of a Rams defender. Either way, his finger got hit, and it looked like it was broken. I thought it was dislocated, and it might be dislocated, but it kind of looked like it was broken. So it was his middle finger. It was his middle finger on the throwing hand. So the middle finger on his throwing hand was injured. It looked broken. I don't know how bad or how severe it is. All we know is that once Russell Wilson suffered that injury towards the end of the third quarter, or at least right around the third quarter, once he suffered that injury, he was out for the rest of the game. Russell Wilson did not play in the fourth quarter. Instead, Geno Smith came in. Now, the game was still within reach, so Geno had a chance to come in and try to help win them the game. And he actually looked like it. Geno Smith came out here, and he executed on a long touchdown drive that ended with him hitting DK Metcalf in the end zone for Metcalf's second touchdown of the game, where Metcalf was just dominating all night. So your offense, inconsistencies left and right overall. Now, again, they still did have a chance, and The game got close in the fourth to the point where they had a chance left. The Rams had to kick the ball, and it was a 6-point game. It was 23-17. It was a 6-point game. Geno had a chance, but unfortunately, he ended up throwing a pick that ended the game here. And the Rams kicked the field goal. They ended up kicking a field goal, and they pretty much iced this game. So, yeah, offense was very inconsistent. Defense for Seattle was just terrible overall. I mean, they couldn't really stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run in sometimes. Surprisingly for Seattle, they were actually running the ball well with Alex Collins. They were running the ball well with Alex Collins. Now, for Seattle's defense earlier on, they were stopping the run. But as the offense started to open up, all of a sudden, Henderson was getting big yard gain after big yard gain after big yard gain. They were starting off the game by stopping the run, but then all of a sudden they just stopped. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. Seattle's defense is just bad. And overall, it's just bad. So things aren't looking good for Seattle right now. If you're a Seahawks fan, you might want to be a little bit concerned because, your team's not looking good. I knew that the Seahawks could not be trusted at home. And yeah, it's a home game. It's prime time. Russell Wilson plays so well on prime time. I get it. But if you've been paying attention to the Seahawks and how they played this season, they've been inconsistent. No way I was going to pick the Seahawks to win this game because I just know they have not been great at home. They have not. They haven't been great at home. I don't trust them this season. So it's hard for me to pick the Seahawks to win a game now because they're so inconsistent. And now with the situation they're in right now, with Russell Wilson having his middle finger potentially broken, and we don't know how that's going to impact him moving forward, things may be just heading downhill for them. They're in a tough division. Rams are 4-1. Rams are 4-1. Cardinals are 4-0. They play the Niners, and the Niners as well. They're trending upwards. Everyone else in the NFC West is trending upwards. Meanwhile, the Seattle Seahawks are trending downwards. They're now under 500. What are they going to do moving forward? They're in trouble, man. They're actually in trouble. I don't know what type of season the Seahawks are going to have, but this is rough. Anyway, for me, this works out for me. I got the Rams winning the division, so the fact that they're 4-1, this looks great. But the Cardinals, man, the Cardinals are a legitimate threat, and it's going to be tough to see the Rams try to overthrow them, considering the fact that the Cardinals thrashed them last week. But I'm going to play the long run. I'm going to play the long run game, and we'll see how this goes moving down the field. Or just moving down the season. Not even down the field, but just moving down the season. I'm going to play the long run. And I think the Rams overall will end up winning this division. But we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, great win for the Rams. Once again, moving to 4-1. Tough loss for Seattle, who falls to 2-3. Their schedule favors them. The next 3 games are very winnable games. But, the 2 games afterwards, I think they're going to lose them. They may be sitting in a situation where they'll be 5-5 after 10 games. And I just don't see how they're going to make the playoffs at this point. But it's a long season. They can turn this around. It's a long season. We'll just see what happens. But with that being said, once again, congratulations to the Rams for getting the job done. Tough loss for Seattle. They'll have to figure something out. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace!